Close your eyes or let them stay soft, unfocused, resting on whatever is in front of you without really seeing it. Let this be the moment you give yourself permission to stop, not to solve anything, not to plan, not to remember what you forgot or rehearse what you still have to do, just to stop. Feel the surface beneath you, the gentle weight of your own body settling down into it. Take one slow breath in through your nose. Let it fill the lower part of your lungs first. Feel your belly rise gently, softly, and then breathe out even more slowly through slightly parted lips. Good. Again, breathe in and out. With each exhale, notice how your shoulders drop a little, how your jaw softens, how the muscles around your eyes, the ones you didn't even know you were holding tight, let go just slightly. You are safe. You are warm. You have nowhere you need to be. Tonight, I'm going to take you somewhere beautiful, somewhere slow and old, full of cobblestones and lamplight, the smell of stone walls cooled by evening air, and the sound of fountains you have to round a corner to find. A town that has been standing for centuries, that has seen 1,000 quiet evenings just like this one, and right now it's waiting for you. Imagine yourself standing at the edge of a small square. You've just arrived, not by plane, not by train. You simply find yourself there, the way you do in the most peaceful kind of dream, already settled into the rhythms of this place, already belonging. The light is changing. It's the exact hour between afternoon and evening, the hour when the sun has dropped behind the rooftops that hasn't quite disappeared, and the sky holds this extraordinary color, something between apricot and lavender, soft and diffuse, like watercolor bled into wet paper. The first few stars have become visible, not many, just two or three, steady and pale, as if they've been there all day and you're only just noticing them now. The square around you is small and uneven, its cobblestones worn smooth by centuries of footsteps. The stones are pale gray, almost white in places, darker where the deepening damp has gathered in the joints. They are imperfect, not the neat, machine cut stones of modern streets, but old ones, each slightly different in shape and size, fitted together by a hand long, long ago. You can feel them slightly through the soles of your shoes. A small fountain sits at the center of the square. It's not grand. Nothing here is trying to be impressive. It's perhaps waist height, made of the same pale stone as the ground, slightly mossy at the base, where the moisture has gathered over many seasons. The water rises in a single gentle arc and falls back into itself with a sound that is, there's no really no other word for it. Peace, perfectly peaceful. Listen to it. That sound, continuous murmur of falling water, not loud enough to dominate, just present enough to fill the quiet. Along the square, four or five buildings lean in slightly, the way old buildings do, as if they've been standing so long they've begun to relax into comfortable angles. Their facades are pale plaster, cream and ochre, and a faded terracotta, with dark wooden shutters on some windows, most of them folded open for the evening. Warm light spills from a few windows above, a lamp being switched on inside an apartment, the blue flicker of a television, the steady gold of a kitchen where someone is moving slowly, unhurried, preparing something that smells of garlic and herbs. A narrow street opens at the far end of the square, disappearing between two buildings into gentle shadow and the promise of more beyond. That's where you'll go. But first, just stay here for a moment. Let the square settle around you. Let the sound of the fountain work its way into you. Feel the soft air on your face. It carries a faint coolness now, the evening becoming and beginning to come in off the hills, and underneath it, something sweeter, the ghost of flowers from a window box somewhere above you. Late rose, perhaps, or something heady and simple you can't quite name. You take a slow breath and feel not the absence of things, but the presence of a very particular kind of quiet. The kind of quiet that doesn't mean nothing is happening. It just means that whatever is happening is unhurried and ancient and entirely at peace. You begin to walk. Your footsteps are soft on the cobblestones, a gentle, irregular rhythm, slightly different with each step as the uneven stones shift the weight of your body in small, manageable ways. You enter the narrow street. The buildings rise on either side of you, close enough that if you stretch your arms out wide, you might almost touch both walls. The plaster is rough textured, slightly chalky under the fingertips, and in places it has worn away to reveal the darker stone beneath. Blocks of pale gray limestone that has been here, it seems, since before living memory. Patches of green glow in the cracks. Tiny ferns, soft moss, the thin thread of something climbing that has taken years to get this far up the wall. The street curves gently ahead, so you can't see where it goes, and somehow that's entirely fine. You have no destination, you have no itinerary. There's only the next slow step and the one after that. Overhead, the two buildings lean close together, and through the narrow gap between their upper floors, you can see a strip of evening sky, that lavender deepening now toward the color of violets. A pair of swallows cut back and forth across it, fast and liquid, their forked tails leaving after images in the air. They are completely silent. You watch them until they wheel away and disappear. A wooden door stands slightly ajar in the wall to your left, painted a deep, somewhat faded green, and an iron knocker shaped like a hand holding a ring. Through the gap, you glimpse a small courtyard. a potted lemon tree in a terracotta urn, a wrought iron table with a half finished glass of water on it, a stripped cushion on a stone bench. Someone lives here, quietly and well. The door doesn't invite you in. You don't try to enter. It's enough to have seen it. The that accidental glimpse of a private life, lived in color and comfort, behind this ancient green door. Further along, the street widens slightly into a shallow alcove in the wall, and set into the stone is a small shrine, a niche, perhaps, as tall as your forearm, holding a painted ceramic tile, a simple image, faded with age, the colors still legible, a soft blue background, a figure with a golden halo, a few stylized flowers in white and yellow. Below it, someone has left a small jar with two white candles, both burned low but still glowing, tiny warm flames in the cooling air. You pause in front of it, not from any particular belief, just from that instinctive human recognition of something that has been tended, something small and steady and kept alive. The candle flames doesn't waver. The evening is perfectly still here. You walk on. The street curves and then widens again, and you find yourself stepping down two worn steps onto a slightly lower level. The town reveals itself in these small vertical shifts, staircases and drops and unexpected plateaus. Here, the street is wider, and on the right, a cafe has set up a few small tables outside on the pavement. Only one is occupied. An older man, alone, with a small cup of coffee and a folded newspaper he is not reading. He is simply sitting, watching the street, being part of the evening. He doesn't look at you, and you don't disturb him. You pass at a respectful distance, catching the scent of the coffee as you go, dark and slightly bitter, that particular intensity of espresso, a thin curl of steam rising from the cup. And beneath that, from somewhere inside the cafe, wood smoke, not from a fire, just the memory of one, embedded in the old plastered walls. The tables and chairs are simple wooden ones, slightly mismatched, and the single lamp above the cafe door throws a warm amber circle onto the pavement, a small lighthouse of light in the deepening evening. From somewhere inside, not loud, not performing, just existing, you hear a radio, an old song, something with accordion floating out over the threshold. You don't recognize it. You don't need to. It belongs here completely, as naturally as the lamplight and the stone. The street opens, without warning, into a larger square. It's not grand in a museum way, not the kind of place that asks you to stand back and admire it. It's simply large and old and quietly sure of itself. On the far side stands a church. It's modest by the standards of churches, not towering or ornate, but substantial. Its facade, the same pale stone as everything else here, with a simple arched doorway framed in slightly darker carved stone. The door itself is dark timber, iron studded, very old, Above the doorway, a small carved rose window, its tracery worn soft, filters the light, the last of the evening light. The church's single bell tower rises square and simple against the sky, which is now, you look up, a deep, extraordinary blue, not black, not navy, that specific saturated twilight blue that lasts only 20 minutes, that hour the French call Hilahir bleu, when the sky holds the last whisper of daylight long after the sun has gone. No bells ring. The tower simply stands, patient and old, a familiar shape against the fading sky. The square itself holds a few trees, old ones, their trunks massive and gnarled, their branches spreading wide above the space. In the daytime, they must give deep shade. Now in the evening, their leaves catch what light remains and hold it. Each leaf a faint pale green against the darkening sky above. Beneath one tree, a dog lies on its side on the warm stones, breathing slowly. A medium sized dog, short haired, golden brown, with one back leg twitching gently as it dreams. It belongs to no one visible, or perhaps it belongs to everyone here. You walk closer and crouch down very quietly. The dog opens one eye, looks at you calmly, and closes it again. You sit on the edge of a low stone ledge nearby and rest for a moment. From here, you can see the whole square. A woman crosses it quickly, carrying shopping bags, her heels clicking sharply on the stones before she disappears into a doorway. Two teenagers sit on the church steps, shoulder to shoulder, heads bent over a phone, its light blue white on their faces. An old man walks very slowly with a cane, heading somewhere with great deliberateness, each step placed carefully on the uneven ground, all of it ordinary, all of it somehow exactly right. The church door opens, and a single person steps out, a woman in her 60s, a dark coat, a shopping bag on her arm. She pauses in the doorway for a moment, looks up at the sky, and then walks off to the left. The door swings closed behind her with a sound that carries a deep wooden thud, followed by silence. You look at the door. Something about it, the weight of it, the sound it made, the way it opened and closed on whatever is inside, makes you want to go in, not for any reason, just to feel the quiet that must exist inside old stone walls after the last person has left. You pushed it open. The air inside is different immediately, cooler, heavier somehow, denser with something you can't quite name. The smell of old stone, candle wax, and something resinous, incense that has been burned here many thousands of times over many hundreds of years, absorbed into the walls, into the very stone itself. It smells of time. The interior is small and simple. A central aisle between two rows of dark wooden pews, their wood worn smooth and dark with use. The floor is stone, uneven, a patchwork of different sized slabs laid over centuries, some of them were bearing faded inscriptions. You walk slowly down the aisle, your footsteps barely audible, a soft shuffle on ancient stone. At the far end, an altar of white cloth, two candles burning, a simple cross, no gilding, no ornament that hasn't earned its place. On the walls, small side chapels with low iron railings and painted or carved figures, saints and angels, whose features have softened with age, their colors still faintly visible, a deep red robe, a blue mantle, a small gilded halo catching the candle flame. A bank of votive candles burns in a rack near the door, perhaps 40 of them, at various heights, filling this corner with unsteady warm light. Someone has been here recently and lit one, perhaps several people. The wax is fresh. You slide into one of the pews and sit down. The wood is cool and solid. The kneeler below is worn down by so many knees over so many years that it has taken on the shape of human weight. You rest your hands on your knees and look forward at the altar. The silence here is not empty, it's full, full of the silence that has been kept here over centuries. Every prayer said quietly, every moment of stillness set in this room seems to have stayed like sediment, like something deposited layer by gentle layer until the silence itself is deep and soft and holds you. You don't need to pray or think or feel anything in particular. You just sit. The candles flicker once, a brief collective tremor, and then settle. Outside, very faintly, you can hear the town, a car somewhere distant, a voice, the faraway sound of the fountain in that first small square. But inside, these sounds are soft and remote, like sounds heard underwater. The church holds them at a respectful distance. After a long moment, you rise from the pew quietly, the way you came in. You pause at the door, looking back once at the candles, at the altar, the faintly glowing darkness of the old stone, and then you push the door open and step back out into the evening air. The square is quieter now. The dog is gone from under the tree. The teenagers have left the church steps. The old man with the cane has found wherever he was going. The blue hour is fading now into the first true dark of the evening, and the street lamps are coming on, not all at once, but gradually, as if each one has its own sense of timing. They are old iron ones, the kind that curves at the top, and they throw a warm orange light that pulls on cobblestones and turns everything amber and rust and gold. You take a street you haven't been down yet. This one is steeper, climbing slightly, and the cobblestones are larger here, rougher, some of them at angles from the freeze and thaw of long winters. On one side, a high stone wall, over which the top of a garden is just visible, the dark shapes of mature trees, the pale drift of something flowering, a fig tree perhaps, its broad leaves silver in the lamplight. On the other side, houses pressed close together, their ground floors mostly dark now, shuttered workshops, a closed tobacconist, a tiny doorway with a hand lettered sign in a language you read slowly, antiques by appointment only. Through the narrow glass pane beside the door, you can see the shapes in the dark, the curve of a mirror, the leg of a chair, a wall hung with paintings too dim to make out. The street bends and narrows further, and now you're in something more like an alleyway, your shoulders almost brushing the walls, the lamplight not quite reaching here, only a grey softness between the buildings. But it's not threatening. You feel actually quite safe, as if this tight, covered space is holding you gently. The way a closed room feels safer than an open field in a storm. The alley opens up again onto a smaller square. This one more intimate, more like a widened street than a proper piazza. There's a well here, a real well, with a stone surround and a wrought iron structure above it, though the bucket and rope are long gone and it's been capped with a stone lid. The surround is worn to a rounded softness on one side, where presumably over many generations, hands reached and leaned and pulled. You run your own hand along it, smooth, cool. The stone is slightly damp. Along the well, a few residents have put out pot plants, geraniums, mostly in old terracotta. Their red flowers vivid even in the lamplight. A bicycle leans against the wall, unlocked, a wicker basket on the front with a folded cloth in it. Somewhere above, 3 floors up, a window is open, and a woman is singing, not loudly, not performing, just the way people sing when they think no one is listening. Her voice drifts down in fragments. You stand very still for a moment, just listening, following the smell before you're even aware of doing it. You turn a corner and find it, a bakery. It shouldn't still be open. It's late, well past dinner now, but there's light in the window, and the door is open, and through it comes the most extraordinary warm smell. Bread. Not the fresh from the oven urgency of morning bread, but the lingering warmth of an oven that has been working all day. The complex, slightly yeasty, slightly caramelized smell of dough that has been given time. You push the door open and step inside. The shop is small, the ceiling low. The walls are tiled halfway up in white and pale blue. The tiles hand painted with small wheat sheaves and simple flower patterns. Behind the glass counter, the shelves hold the end of the day's baking. A few long loaves, their crusts dark and cracked, showing the pale interior. Some round rolls, a tray of something sweet, a flat cake dusted with icing sugar, its top cracked to show a dark fruit feeling. The baker herself is a woman of perhaps 70, gray hair pulled back, a white apron over dark clothes. She is wiping down the counter when you enter, and she looks up at you with the mild, unsurprised expression of someone who has seen customers at strange hours before and holds no particular opinion about it. You point to one of the small rolls. She takes it with tongs, wraps it in a twist of paper, and hands it over. You give her a coin. She gives you a small coin back. No words are unnecessary. The transaction is as old as the town itself. Outside, you sit on the step of the building opposite and eat the roll slowly. It is really, there's really only one word, right. The crust yields with a small crack, and the inside is dense and slightly chewy, with a faint sourness from a long rise. It tastes of nothing artificial. It tastes of flour and water and time and the work of someone's hands. You eat slowly, and the street is quiet around you, and the lamplight is warm, and the night is soft. When you finish, you fold the paper carefully and put it in your pocket. You find the river by sound before you see it. A low, steady rush beneath the amber quiet of the town, different from the fountain, more persistent, more alive. You follow it through a lane that runs between garden walls, the cobblestones giving way to bare stone flags, and then the lane ends at a low parapet, perhaps waist high, and beyond it the river. It's not a wide river, perhaps 12 or 15 meters across, dark and smooth at the center where it runs deep, broken in silver, near the banks where it catches the lamplight. The current is gentle, unhurried, moving downstream with the same patient certainty as everything else in this town. On the far bank, more old buildings, more amber windows, a line of mature trees along the waterfront whose branches trail down almost to the surface. Their reflections shimmer in the river, broken and reassembled continuously by the current, a slow abstract painting that is never the same twice. You lean on the parapet and watch the water. There is a particular restfulness in watching a river. Something in the human nervous system responds to it. Perhaps we lived beside rivers for so long, perhaps because the sight of water moving carries a message to some old part of the brain that says, safe, settled, home. Your breathing has become very slow. You notice this. The air coming in gently through your nose, the air going out even more slowly, the slight rise of your chest, the release. A flat bottom boat is moored below the parapet, knocking very softly against the stone with the rhythm of the current. It's old, its paint peeling slightly, a rope tied loosely to an iron ring set into the wall. There's a folded canvas cover in the bow, dark with age. It hasn't been used today, perhaps not this week. It rests in the water, completely still, completely content. A fish rises near the far bank. You see the small circle on its first surface, rings spreading and disappearing, and then the river is smooth and dark again. You stay here for a while. There's nothing else you need to do, nowhere else you need to be. Just this parapet and this water and the soft sound of the river moving gently, steadily in the dark. Eventually, you turn away from the river and begin to walk back. There is no urgency. You have no idea which direction you came from, and this doesn't trouble you at all. In a town like this, all roads eventually lead somewhere recognizable, and if they don't, if you wind up somewhere entirely new, that's all right too. The streets are quieter now. Most of the windows have gone dark. The cafe you passed earlier has drawn its chairs in. You can see them stacked inside through the glass, the tables bare. That lamplight feels more intimate without the competition of lit windows, more focused, as if each lamp is now holding its small circle of warmth against the surrounding dark. Your footsteps on the cobblestones are the loudest sound. You slow them further, No need to hurry, no need to make noise. You pass under a archway, stone, very old, the keystone above you carved with a face worn to near abstraction by time, and enter a small passage that connects two streets. The passage is perhaps 20 steps long, the walls close, the ceiling low, and the sound of your footsteps change here, more enclosed, more resonant, the quiet amplified by the stone around you. You pause in the middle of the passage and simply listen. Nothing. The softest nothing you have ever heard. Just the faint, distant sound of the town at rest. A window somewhere, a cat perhaps, the barely there murmur of the river that carried on the air. On the far side of the passage, you emerge onto a street you recognize. Yes, this is the one with the green door and the courtyard. You are, it turns out, not far from where you started. You walk slowly, unhurriedly. The green door is closed now. The wrought iron table in the courtyard is empty. The half-finished glass of water gone, the stripped cushion taken inside. Beside, behind the curtained window on the first floor, a warm light still burns. Someone in there reading perhaps, or almost asleep. You pass by quietly. Before you return to the square, you notice something you missed before. At the end of the Green Door Street, a stepped path climbs upward, narrow stone steps set into the hillside, bordered on either side by tall dark hedges. You don't know why you go up. You simply find yourself climbing. One step, then another. The steps are worn and easy underfoot, and the hedges on either side hold a warmth from the day's sun, releasing it slowly into the air around you. The scent of the hedge, something resinous like rosemary or box, old and evergreen, rises as you brush past. After perhaps 30 steps, the path opens onto a small terrace, a garden, really, carved into the hillside above the town. There's a low stone balustrade along the edge, and beyond it, the town below. You stand very still and look. From up here, you can see the whole of it. All the amber street lamps, the dark shapes of rooftops, the thin silver thread of the river, the larger darkness of the church, the scattered warm squares of windows still lit. The sound of it reaches you gently, softened by distance. The fountain, somewhere still running, a dog barking twice, then stopping. The very faint thread of music, different from the cafe radio, something slower, from higher up the hill perhaps. The garden you around you holds a few stone benches, a path between low plantings, and in the center, an old lemon tree in a large urn, its lemons pale and heavy, almost luminous in the dark. You sit on the nearest bench. The stone is cool beneath you. The air is cooler up here too, and you pull your jacket closer. And the gesture itself is a deeply comfortable, that slight adjustment to a chill, that small act of self tending. Above the town, the sky is now entirely dark and fully open with stars. Not the thin, washed out stars of cities, real ones, thick and layered, more of them than you can count. spilling across the sky in the wide, pale smear of the galaxy. The longer you look, the more you see stars behind stars, depths behind depths. You lie back on the bench. It's wide enough and look straight up. The town murmurs gently below. The stars hold steady above. The lemon tree rustles once in a breath of air and then goes still. Your body is very heavy, not in an uncomfortable way, in the way that body becomes heavy when they are completely safe and at rest, as if gravity is working gently with you, not against you, drawing you down softly into something warm and still. Your breathing is very slow now. In, out. After a long time, you rise from the bench slowly, your body soft and heavy with rest, and make your way back down the stone steps. The town receives you back without command. The streets are the same, the lamplight is the same, the stones are the same, but you are different, calmer, quieter, as if the evening has done its work on you on the way the river does its work on stone, slowly, without force. Over time, you find the small square without trying. The fountain is still running. Of course it is. It has been running for a very long time, and it will continue long after you are gone. That thought is strangely comforting. You sit on the edge of the fountain just for a moment. The water is cold when you trail your fingers in it, cold and clear and real. The square is empty now, not a single light in any window, just you and the fountain and the lamplight making quiet gold circles on the old stone. You close your eyes. You can still see it all behind your eyelids. The streets, the green door, the church with its candles, the river, the stars above the garden. All of it held now, quietly, somewhere inside you. This is the thing about places like this, about streets and lamplight and the sound of water. They don't leave you when you leave them. They settle somewhere, like the incense in the church walls, absorbed slowly into something deeper. They become part of what you carry. The town breathes around you, slowly, steadily. The fountain murmurs. The stars are invisible from here. Too much lamplight, too many walls, but you know they're there, and that is enough. Your body is very, very still. Your thoughts, which at the start of this evening were so present, so insistent, have gone quiet, not gone, but quieted, like a room where the last guest has left and you turned off most of the lights, quiet, at rest, tended. The cobblestones hold the warmth of the day. The fountain holds its sounds. The town holds its centuries. And the night, the old, slow, generous night, holds all of it. And now it holds you too. There's nothing left to do, nothing left to think, nothing left to carry. Just the sound of water and the warm dark and the softness underneath you. And sleep. Let it come, let it come, let it come. You are safe, you are held. The town sleeps around you, the fountain runs on, and you rest